Hello, friend. I know we may not know each other in person, but there's one thing I know about you, and that is you deserve more love, not less. Because I believe that for every human being on this planet, every being on this planet. So let's talk about how you can experience more love in your life right now. And I'm going to give you several ways, several techniques to use this. But the basic idea is if you want to feel more love, if you want to experience more love, you become more loving, right? The love comes from you. So often we're out there chasing love. We become people pleasers, or we enter into relationships that aren't good for us, or we stay in relationships that aren't good for us, or we maintain contact with people who are not so nice to us, or we do all these things to seek love. But spiritually, at our core, we are a field of infinite love. And so, really, if you want to feel more love, be in a more blissful state, experience less suffering, all of these things, uh, the secret to this is to become more loving, to become the source of love that you're feeling. And, give it a try, right? Give it a shot, even if you're skeptical. Skepticism is healthy. So I'm going to give you a few ways to do this. Some of them are very simple, and others require maybe a little bit more practice. So the first thing I want you to try as you go through life in the world and you encounter other people, or other people just you come to mind, even people who may not have been so nice to you or even harmful to you or caused you suffering, what I want you to do is intend kindness and compassion to them, right? Hold them in a space where you think may they be free from suffering. Just hold kindness, intend kindness and compassion. Spiritually, whether you're a spiritual person or not, doesn't matter. But spiritually, we would call this blessing. You are blessing them. You do not have to be a priest or other member of the clergy to bless another person. In fact, in English, often when somebody sneezes, we say, bless you. What does that mean when we say that, other than it's just the thing to say? We bless somebody because sneezing might indicate that they're sick, and we are wishing them to be free from sickness. We are wishing good things towards them. So as you go through your day, how can you intend kindness and compassion towards others? Hold people in that space, in that kindness and compassion. With that, you will become naturally loving. You will generate a naturally loving state that is already within you. I'm going to talk more about that in a moment. Okay. So that's one way. Now, for people who have caused you suffering in the past, or people that you have angry feeling towards, or whatever, it's completely understandable that you might have some feelings, some angry feelings towards these people, or other kinds of feelings, or sad feelings, or grief, or what have you. And that's completely understandable. It's important to remember that they are human beings, and at their core, they're an infinite field of love as well. And so we can still bless them. And that can be part of a forgiveness practice. I've talked about forgiveness in the past. I'll talk about forgiveness in the future. It's a little out of the scope for this video, but it can be part of forgiveness practice where you are letting go of those hurt feelings. That doesn't mean you're letting the other person off the hook. It doesn't mean you don't try to correct a situation that is unacceptable, that doesn't respect your boundaries, or is harmful to you, or just unacceptable in some way. This is not to say that you can't look at behaviors or things and say, that's unacceptable, but I wish you, the person, kindness and compassion. I wish you to be free from suffering. Okay? This will change how you show up in the world. It will change how you feel. It'll make you feel better, but it will also change how you show up in the world. And you will naturally attract more love towards you as well. Not that you need it, because remember, you are that infinite field of love within. Which brings me to the next way to experience this. So Number one, we're going to go through life. We're going to bless everybody that comes to mind or into our experience, from the cashier at the grocery store to our exes, to our parents, to our children. Bless them, wish them well, wish them to be free from suffering, wish them to have happiness and joy and a life full of joy. Imagine, people who have caused you harm in the past or whatever. Imagine if their life was full of joy. If it had always been full of joy, they probably would not have behaved towards you in that way. So, but just having this intention may change how they behave, but that's not the important part. It's going to change how you feel. And that's the important part. It is also going to change how you show up in the world. Okay. So let's talk about another technique, method for getting to this. It's called metta, and this is actually loving kindness meditation. And this comes from Buddhism, and you can, but you don't have to be Buddhist to practice it. It is completely non-sectarian. It is, uh, you know, completely free of religious dogma. And there are different ways to practice this. There are different translations of where you're going to recite things in your mind. Okay. So, very similar to the way we're going through life and we're just blessing people. I wish kindness and compassion to them. You are going to purposefully bring people to mind. So, you're going to sit in meditation for a few minutes. You're going to bring somebody to mind for whom you have really good feelings, right? Somebody that you love, and you're going to recite some lines. You can choose your own wording, but an important one is, may you be free from suffering. May you be full of happiness and joy, right? So just, wish these things, whatever the words you want to use. You're wishing happiness and joy and to be free from suffering to this person. Picture them in your mind. Once you've done that, you should feel something from this. You bring somebody to mind for whom you may not have the most loving feelings, somebody who has been a real challenge to you, somebody who may have caused you harm in the past. And you picture them and you wish the same things, okay, until you feel a shift in your feelings. Then you bring somebody to mind for whom your feelings are just kind of neutral. Maybe you don't know them that well, an acquaintance or something, and do the same thing. After you've done those 3 people, you imagine yourself. If your loving kindness is not extended to yourself, you are missing somebody, right? You should be blessing yourself as well. So picture yourself. May you be free from suffering. May you be full of happiness and joy. Okay? Change the feelings. Now, in whatever way makes sense to you, imagine the whole world. And not just the people in the world, but all living beings in the world, all sentient beings that exist in the world. However that makes sense to you to visualize that. And do the same thing. May you be free from suffering. May you be full of happiness and joy. Okay, so we're just intending this, we're just wishing this. And notice how it changes your feeling, right? And that's the important aspect. Changing your feeling changes how you show up in the world. So by doing this, you are making changes to the universe, right? By changing yourself in a positive way, we're making positive changes to the universe. And you might think, well, I'm just, a little old so-and-so over here in my corner of the world. Well, that's fine. That's where it begins, right? Imagine if everybody did this. Imagine if everybody on the planet, or more and more people, started having kind and loving feelings towards each other. We would do away with a lot of violence and drug abuse and other kinds of social problems that we have. But let it start with you. The third way I'll give you is, a little more involved, maybe. Okay. And so imagine, this is going to be a meditation that you do. Imagine being able to dive into the center of your heart. And in the center of your heart is an ocean of pure love. So you dive in and just abide there. Just abide in the ocean of pure love that you are at your core, right? And just experience that. Just feel it. Let those feelings bubble up, okay? And when you're completed with that, stay there for as long as you want. Go about your day. But doing these three things from time to time, doing the blessing exercise throughout your day, every day, will change how you feel, will make you feel more love now. All of these things will make you feel more love and more loving, and just experience that. Okay. And loving is accepting. It's holding space for. If we think about the universe, it's a pretty big place, right? 20 or so trillion galaxies, each one with a billion stars. What do we know about the universe? Or you might say God, or you might say source, or you might say the divine, or have another name for it. That's totally fine. What does it do? It holds everything. It holds space for everything there is. So that's what we call an observable quality of source, an OQS in my parlance. An observable quality of source. You become more like source. You become more like the divine when we become more loving and we hold space for everything there is without rejection, without grasping, without attachment. We just love everything there is. I hope this has been helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. My love to you all, and I will talk to you very soon.